Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I had a different video planned, but today what we're going to do instead, and I'll explain why in a moment, I love videos where people look at their purchases from the past and talk about whether or not they ended up being good purchases. So that's going to be what we're going to do today. If you are new to my channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, being critical of new makeup releases, and being very discerning when I do decide to bring something into my makeup collection. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video, and I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's absolutely no pressure to, but if you'd like to, it's there if you would. Thank you to all my beautiful, lovely patrons for always supporting me. I appreciate you. I had a different video in mind today, and I, in theory, could have done that other video concept still, but I'm holding off because I want it to be an application video. So I do not want to put anything on my face today. My right eye feels like it's on the verge of, there's a sty, like it just feels wrong around my eye right now. So I don't want to put contacts in. I don't want to put anything on around my eyes or around or on my eyes. So what I thought would be good today would be like a little bit of reflection. I think constantly revisiting things that I've loved in the past or things that I've purchased is a really good way to keep a finger on the pulse and just kind of keep me in check to reflect on things. So if you are new to my channel, last year my budget was entirely dedicated to myself and my interests. So I could use my budget to explore whatever I wanted. And so I did that. So this year is a little bit different. What I'm doing is my budget has been overturned for review explicitly. So it doesn't necessarily mean that everything I review is something that I would have bought or would have been interested in or would have been on my radar. It's more for people who watch my videos to get value out of my videos, if that makes sense, because I found that I really love my makeup collection. Truly, like, part of my journey has been to truly love my makeup collection. That doesn't mean things that won't still come and go, but when I review something, it's for review, and whether or not I keep it after the review is entirely up to me. But if I'm going to keep it, it means that something else is going to have to go, or it's going to have to be something really special that adds value to my collection. And I just think I'm really in a great place with my makeup collection right now that like adding additional makeup to it for just my own personal sake isn't worth it. So I want to go back to January of 2022, relook at everything I bought, see what I still have in my collection, see what happened to some of it. And I just want to talk about it with you. I have seen Haley O do this video concept. I don't know if she's the originator of the concept. I've also seen Lauren Mae Beauty look at purchases from past years at Sephora. So this is kind of like in the vibe of that, in the vein of that. So I'll talk about my experience with each thing. I'll talk about how I feel about each thing currently and like my love for that item, like if it's a very special item to me, and just how it's going, double check. And I understand that this is kind of really quickly after I did like ranking all of the makeup I tried in 2022, but I still think it's good to revisit everything. First thing I purchased in 2022, in January 2022, was the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipstick, and I have the shade Noah. And basically, spoiler alert, if it's still in my collection, it means we're getting on swimmingly. A couple of things about this. I bought this lipstick because of Kat, also known as the Kitsch Snitch here on YouTube. She has a huge lipstick collection, and over the course of 2022 and I think 2021, it kind of rolled over, like 2021 into 2022. She did a Project Apocalypse where she kind of tried all of her lipsticks over the course of a year and a half and declared some of them. But she remarked that this was a very special shade of lipstick, and not so much that she loved the formula, but she just found that the shade was very unique. And before last year, I would say I wasn't like a big lipstick connoisseur. Like, lipstick isn't my favorite thing to purchase. It's not something like I always have my eye out. So I think there are lipstick people. Like, Kat is a lipstick person. I wouldn't call myself like a lipstick person. It's funny because if you ask me what my favorite category of makeup is now, I don't know that I have an answer for you, but I am much more into lipstick now. So I bought it because of that. And because I thought if Kat has 500 some lipsticks and she's saying that this shade feels special and unique to her, I was like, there's probably something to it. I love this, and it is an interesting nude. It has just like a little je ne sais quoi to it. It's like cool toned, but not, it's just like it's a very interesting shade. You know, one of my subscribers tagged me in a post recently and said that they bought it on my recommendation. And they said that it is it's like a nude, right? It doesn't look like incredibly special, but on the lips, it just does something. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. The formula is really nice and comfortable, but it is a cream lipstick, so you're not going to get like incredible longevity out of it, but it's very comfortable. It wears really well. It wears off very well, I feel. And the component is actually divine. Like, it's this metal packaging, and of course I love when there's a magnet because there's just like nothing more satisfying so it doesn't accidentally pop up. It's a very sleek, clean white, which is like not really my aesthetic. And it's interesting because it doesn't seem to be like Natasha Denona's aesthetic either. Everything about this is just really nice. And while it is like not a cheap lipstick, it's definitely not like luxury price. I believe it was like $25 when I bought it. I'm sure that with inflation and all the crazy stuff going on right now, it's probably more expensive than it was when I bought it. If you were looking for a new nude lipstick or like a new beigey lipstick with a little je ne sais quoi, I would recommend this one. I feel ambivalent about Natasha Denona at this point, but like this is a very nice lipstick and I would buy it again. I think it's worth seeking out. And if there's another shade in the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude collection that strikes your fancy, I bet you wouldn't be disappointed with it. So the second thing I bought in 2022, this was all, I swear to God, I think this was like January 1st. I put all these in my cart. The next thing I bought was the Pat Mcgrath Intensifies. So I'll just pop a picture of it up here. It's no longer my makeup collection, but it just got decluttered. It did stick around for a while. It's not like I have a gripe with this product. It's just like, it just wasn't meant for the way that I use makeup. It definitely, to me, has like more of like a high fashion editorial purpose versus like an everyday makeup purpose. Like, I think that makeup artists would probably get a lot of use out of it. The thing is, it's kind of like this waxy, super emollient thing. Very shimmery eyeshadows look really pretty on it. And any of the marketing then when this got launched, it was basically showing you like, you have sparkly eyeshadow. Well, let me show you how sparkly you can make your sparkly eyeshadow. And I do think that it did that. Like, I do think that it did what it promised, but it's not adding longevity. I have super oily eyelids. And so it just was like kind of impractical for me. I just want my makeup to perform the way I need it to. And I am not someone who's like always doing looks for Instagram. I'm not doing looks that are like for just the purpose of just photos. Most of the makeup I'm wearing at least for like 4 to 5 to 7 hours when I'm putting on makeup. And like, obviously there are times where I wear makeup longer than that. So if this isn't gonna help me wear my makeup better throughout the day and only do something very specific for a shorter amount of time, then it's just like not for me. But I do think if you are a makeup artist or a makeup artist who does like photo shoot work, or if you are someone who does like makeup for Instagram and you were looking for something to punch up the shimmer, I think like that's worth it. I also found that it was like pretty worthwhile if you like multi-chromes. There's something about it that it did something to my multi-chromes where I felt like I could see the shifts better. They just sort of became more apparent whenever I would use this underneath multi-chromes. I think there was something to do with that emollients that really allowed the shifts to look even shiftier. So it did something really beautiful. I forgot to mention this at the top of the video. If you are curious about where I got my frames, if you are curious where I got them, they are from You Fancy Optical. I have an affiliate link down below. I didn't think that anyone really cared about my glasses, but you guys, every time I wear like a fun pair, you guys seem to be interested in it. And so I found out they had an affiliate program and I applied. So if you are interested in any of that, please check that out. Next, I purchased the Rouge à Lèvres satin lipstick from Gucci in the shade A Royal Scandal. So if you haven't seen this packaging, it is next level. And A Royal Scandal is, you know, it looks kind of similar to Noah, but they are very different. This is much grungier. Like, I would say this is like a grungy lipstick for someone who doesn't want to go all the way. This is like a grungy lipstick for the person who wants to like go all the way, which is really interesting. The thing about Gucci lipsticks is that they have some wild shades in it. And I do think that this is like one of the more wild shades that Gucci tends to sell. But I bought this, of course, because Hannah-Louise Poston talked about it all the time. And here's the thing. I actually didn't like this formula. Look at how much I've used it. I really didn't like this formula when I first got it. I came from this belief, this world where lipstick had to be like fully pigmented and cover every inch of your lips to be worthwhile. And while this is pigmented, It's not as pigmented as like liquid lipsticks of 2016. And while obviously I bought this in 2022, I just didn't have an affinity for any kind of lip product. And buying both of these at the beginning of last year kind of helped me learn how I could enjoy lip formulas that I was like probably wouldn't have liked a couple years ago. But it's super comfortable. Again, it's a cream lipstick, so it wears like a cream. It's not the most bulletproof lipstick, but it just is like the coolest color to wear. It almost has like, it's like cool tone, but it almost has like a green to it and a green gray to it. It's just a wild color, especially coming from a luxury brand like Gucci. I just think it's really cool. They also have like a green lipstick and a black lipstick. Gucci is out here making like some very interesting colored lipsticks that seem like that people of the status that would typically buy Gucci wouldn't be interested in. So I commend them for, doing that, kind of creating just like interesting and different, like something out of left field in the luxury space. Because I don't think that we always get that. The component, again, as I said, absolutely lovely, gorgeous, nice and heavy. It's like a little small, but it's fine. I mean, I guess this isn't like the best thing to compare it to because there's not many like square lipstick cases, but it's like divine. And I did learn to love it over time. It does have a smell to it. I'm not really sure how to describe the smell. Everything from Gucci stinks. Like it smells like something or another thing, but I haven't found that really bothers me, but I could see a world where this type of fragrance would really bother someone. But I think the color is so cool and unique that a Royal Scandal is worth it. I know there are other people who have other different shades from Gucci that really love them, but I mean, I probably don't need a black lipstick from Gucci, so I'm like good on that. The next up, I made a purchase from Phytosurgeons, and I bought 3 things. One I have in front of me, 2 of them I do not. So I bought the brush, I don't know what they're called, but they're highlighter. And I also bought one of their Skin Spark blushes. Let's start with the highlighter. I mentioned this in my end of the year, like countdown, this was one of the worst products that I purchased last year. And I say that it's just not something that like works for the way that I do makeup. If you are new here, I'm like not wearing makeup today because of like the thing going on with my eye, but I love to be glowy. I love it. I love to be just glow. I love glow. This is really subtle. It's really subtle and it's an interesting formula. And some people say it's innovative. I don't necessarily agree with that. I found it difficult to use, and I think it was kind of like a twofold thing. Like, I didn't find it very intuitive. Like, I do think that makeup should work in such a way that whenever something is put in front of you and they're like, this is what this is supposed to do, that I should be able to like do it without hacking it, needing to go to the brand to like learn how to use it. And I just found that like disappointing. Like of course a brand's gonna give you like tips and tricks on how to use any of their products, but like I couldn't get this to work on my own. I referred myself to their Instagram to like learn more about it. And then I also had people who really loved the product in my comment section giving me suggestions on how to make it work better for me. But I just felt like I was putting it on my skin and like nothing was happening. It like wasn't highlighting, and some people use it for setting. Like it's just like this product that I guess I just like don't fully have a grasp on. When I'm thinking of an illuminating product, I just need it to have like the oomph in it. Like I want it to have a lot to it. I don't want it to be something that is like subtle. And I found that product was very subtle. So there is definitely is a market for it, but I like wasn't it because I just love to be like glowy. Just like so glowy. The next thing was the Sky Fluff brush, which is designed to be used with their blushes. And by the end of the year, I actually didn't include tools in my budget. So this will be the last tool we see. I tried this. I tried the brush and I thought it was actually for the highlight, but I bought the wrong brush. So that, first and foremost, that's on me. I do want to say that Phytosurgeons did reach out to me after they saw the video where I ranked both of these products kind of low. Their brush is different now, so my experience with this brush isn't really valid for the current brush. So also know that. So the brush is different now. So I'm speaking to the old brush, not the current iteration of the brush. I found that it lifted product, and I found that even when I used it with the blush, which was what it was meant for, that like it just like didn't work out for me. I felt like it never picked up enough product, and I just like didn't really care for that brush. Now it is a synthetic brush, I'm fairly certain, and while I'm not like against synthetic brushes, I do find myself reaching for either like natural or duo fiber brushes, typically in my makeup application, and I have found that that works best for me. So kind of setting myself up for failure with both these products. Like they were products that were not really designed for me in mind, and I was just like trying them willy-nilly. And so I would say that's like kind of more so on me, but I also think I wouldn't have learned that and been able to be more discerning with my future purchases had I not had that experience with those two products that didn't work out for me. But all was not lost, because I also bought the Smolder Skin Spark, which is one of their blushes. And so this is like a beautiful orangey blush, and I love orange blush. And this one also has like a little bit of like a terracotta situation happening in it. And it just, man, there's something about this formula. It's like almost like a mousse. Like it looks like really dense, and then you put your finger in it and you start like melting the product in your fingers, and it just melts beautifully into your skin. One of the problems with a lot of blush formulas, cream, liquid, powder, is that I find they don't want to become like one with the skin. And it always just feels like the blush is like sitting on top of it. Even if I were to do the blush first and like put highlight and bronzer over top of the blush to try to like make it feel more like the skin, it's just like, this is no hassle. You can apply it with your fingers. You can apply it with a sponge. You can apply it with a brush, and it's going to look beautiful. Like it's just like kind of like this no fuss product. The formula is just like one of the best blush formulas I've ever tried. It's interesting because it feels really innovative, right? And it's one of those things that I ask of makeup brands at any size. Like if you're gonna bother making a product, make it special. And while this like reads to you, maybe if you'd never tried it, like a cream blush, it's not like just a cream blush. It's like a cream blush that does something very, very special. It's very magical on the skin. It just looks really good. It becomes one with the skin. And it's an amazing blush. Like it's just one of the best blush formulas. And that's coming from me, who I just showed you Gucci, Natasha Denona, like other very much more expensive brands. And Phytosurgeons is not a super expensive brand. It's definitely one of the most affordable things I think in my makeup collection at this time. So I highly recommend these. I have heard from one person that they did not get on with these, but I'm here to like just remind you that like if you've ever heard hype about the Phytosurgeons blushes, I think they live up to it. The second to last thing I bought in January of 2022 is the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream, and I have Soleil Tan Deep. This is that. If you have watched my channel for any length of time, I'm sure you've seen me use this. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. This smells too. This is more of like a fresh scent. The Gucci definitely is like more of a different scent. Like, I don't know. I think the Gucci scent is stronger, but like if you're like, if you have an aversion to fragrance, then I mean, you probably already know not to buy Gucci and Chanel. I think Chanel does have a line that is fragrance free. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I don't know a lot about Chanel. I had heard, people rave about this product. I also know that it kind of changed formulas, and I also know that this was a new shade when I bought it. And I said that this is the Tan Deep Bronze. Now, there's a lot of problems with Chanel as a brand. There's a lot of problems with the shade range of this as well. I really like this bronzer. I like it because there's a little bit of a redness to it. And while that's not always something I want, I find that I can really sheer it out and make it whatever. It looks just like the lipsticks I swatched. But sometimes whenever the trouble, I think, whenever you do have a light skin tone, a very fair skin tone, bronzers are pretty hard. And it works the other way too. If you have very deep skin, deep complexion, finding bronzers for yourself is very hard. So speaking as someone who has like very light, fair skin, you're kind of making the choice between something appearing very yellow, something appearing very orange, or something appearing red. And it's kind of like a pick your poison. And if you can find something neutral in a shade range that actually is like a neutral warm color, it's kind of hard to find. And I don't think I would have liked the original shade of this. It looks very orange. It looks very orange. And I know that people love it. And I've seen people of like both like light to medium skin tones like enjoy that bronzer. I'm glad I got this shade. Now, again, I did say this is the deep shade, and I do think that like you can wear it with more pigment, but it shears out very nicely, especially with the kind of base that I like to do. my base is usually very, very slippy. Like it's normally like oil, it's like a dewy foundation. So whenever I'm applying this, it's normally got a lot of slip to go on. And so it just kind of leaves my skin looking airbrushed. It does like a lot of just like blurring work. I just always feel like whenever I have this bronzer on, my skin looks just like impeccable, especially obviously in the areas where I have the bronzer. So it does a lot. It also has a bit of a shimmer to it. It's not like, it's not like glittery. It's not like glittery, but it just, I think it gives the bronzer some life. So if you don't like if you don't like a bronzer with some glow to it, I don't think you'd like this. If you're looking for something truly matte, this is like isn't it. I just think that it kind of like does exactly what it says in the name. It gives you like a healthy glow. And I use it all the time, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. And there's so much product in here. Like that's over the course of a year. And that's like what's really regular use. I'm not being dainty about using this. I know that some people get like luxury and high-end products in their hands and they feel compelled to like not use them. No, I want to use my beautiful makeup. I want to get my brush in there and I want to use it up. I do like this the best with the Sonia G brushes, the fusion brushes. I find that it's like my favorite way, but I did apply it with my fingers. It's always worked with my fingers. I will apply it with a sponge. It works with a sponge. So it's like however you want to apply it, it's going to work. But I do think that for me, the brush is the way to go. I see myself finishing this up. Would I buy it again after I finish it up? Probably not. And then the last thing is the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara. So I don't have this anymore. If you still have a mascara from last January and you are using it, please throw it away. Please throw it away and buy a new one for me. Please. I mean, for yourself, but for me. If you won't do that for yourself, can you please do it for me? It was such a blip on my radar of last year, right? Because mascaras you really can't carry with you through the whole year, as I mentioned. Like, so I do use mine for 3 months and then I am done with it. So I tried 3 other mascaras at the end of last year, and I'm trying a 4th new mascara since I've tried it. I remember a lot of you not liking it. So I will first and foremost say that. When I tried it, I remember just like feeling meh about it. I didn't feel like it did anything magical to my lashes, but I also didn't find it as problematic as a lot of people in my comment section did, because a lot of people in my comment section were like, it's one of the worst mascaras I ever used. I don't feel that like negatively about it personally, but I do think buyer beware. This didn't work out for a lot of people. So I remember it's interesting because the packaging looks like it's gonna have more heft to it. It's like really light packaging, but it is like aesthetic. You know, it has like that shiny purple outer packaging, so like it has some stuff going for it. But I remember the product feeling like it was just kind of everywhere on the brush, and like sometimes like when you use a mascara over time, like it gets a little bit better. Like it's like, okay, the first use was like one thing, but like after using it a handful of times, it's so meh to me that I wouldn't buy it again. It's not like, I think all of the other 3 mascaras I tried over the course of last year that weren't this one were mascaras that I would willingly try again, like willingly buy again. I thought they were good. But this one was just like, okay. And like, I'm like, I'm not around for an okay mascara because I only normally keep 1 mascara going at a time. So it doesn't deserve that space in my collection. And I actually don't think it deserves that space in your collection. That was everything I bought last year. So when we reflect, I bought 8 things in January of last year, and half of them are still in my collection. So I still have the I Need a Nude, I still have the Gucci, I still have the bronzing cream, and I also still have my Phytosurgeon's blush. So that was like a good 50-50, right? And a couple of the things that I decluttered weren't things that I felt like were terrible. They just like weren't my favorite thing. So I think I did a pretty good job my first month being able to buy things after my no buy last year, being able to like really get into it and like discern what was going to be like good for me and what was not. And while none of like there were some not perfect things, I do still have like 4 really good things sitting in front of me, and I'm glad that happened. Have you ever reflected on a product or on your purchases of a previous year? Have you ever done something like this? Let me know if you have. And if you have, how was that self-reflection? Was it scary? This isn't scary. I know whenever like Lauren May Beauty did this, to be like, I spent $1,000 in 2012 on makeup at Sephora. Was any of it worth it? Like, it's not really like that while I'm doing this. It's more like, what's still around? What do I still think of these things? Are they still around? Did I declutter them? So that was kind of the whole point of today's video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. That's like the best way to support my channel, and I'm also on patreon.com if you'd like to support me there. But again, there's no pressure to. Remember to follow your haute and you'll find me. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye, friends.